Welcome to Lo que Ale no dijo. Every week, before I record, I spend a lot of time thinking about what I want to share in this space. It's not just sitting down and talking. It's choosing carefully which stories, which reflections can truly offer something real to those who are listening. This week, two stories crossed my path, and I don't want to let them pass. On one hand, the words of Fernando Salas about how salsa and bachata have normalized objectification, hypersexualization, and the structures that enable abuse of power. On the other hand, the work and reflections of Gabriela Equiz, who is not only such a strong voice on this subject, but also my current coach in fundamentals through her salsa and bachata ballet program. Training with her has reminded me that dance, when practiced through technique, awareness, and respect, is a profound human process and one that heals. The problem is not the dance. The problem has never been the dance itself. The problem is the structure around it, the dynamics that repeat and that so often are learned long before stepping onto a dance floor. In social and performance spaces, we've been made to believe that exaggerated sensuality is a natural part of the culture, that showing your body and fitting a mold is part of the show. But behind that, there is a system that decides which bodies are sellable, which styles generate money, and who deserves to be on stage. Many times, those decisions have nothing to do with artistic quality or real effort. Dynamics that repeat. In practice, these structures show up in things like schools putting their students into competitions without solid foundations just to sell the costumes, uniforms, and trips. Choreographies put together quickly to look good on video, but with no technique support or supporting the dancer. Directors using the word quote-unquote family as an emotional hook while demanding loyalty in exchange for questionable opportunities. These practices don't appear out of nowhere. And here is where my perspective as a counselor comes in. What we see in the dance community often reflects what we learn at home and since childhood. As a school counselor, it starts at home. In my work, I see how children and teens learn about respect, boundaries, and self-esteem from very early on. If at home there is no such a talk about consent, if clear boundaries aren't taught, if machismo is normalized, or silence around abuse is accepted, those beliefs grow with them. And later, when they enter spaces like dance studios, they already carry that inner programming. Accepting uncomfortable comments as normal, believing you must please others to belong, or staying silent to not lose opportunities. As a counselor, I know preventing begins long before a young person becomes an adult or an artist. It begins at home. And here I'm not just talking about protecting, but about educating. Teaching that no is always valid, no matter who is applying the pressure. Modeling healthy relationships where respect is not negotiable. Celebrating achievements for effort and dedication, not for appearance. Forcing a process can leave wounds. Dance is a human process, deep and beautiful. To accelerate that process, to force quick results, not only risk physical injuries, it can also leave neurological. It can also leave neurological and emotional wounds. When a body learns through tension and fear of failing, the brain stores that pattern, and dancing stops being pleasure and becomes a source of anxiety. That's something I've seen not only in dance, but also in schools. Students who lose connection with their talent because they were pushed to perform immediately without time to truly learn. There is another path, one where technique is respected, the process is honored, and the person is at the center, not the product that can be solved from them. A slower path, yes, but one that is more sustainable and healthy. Gabriela Equiz reminds me of this every training. It's not about how many steps you know, but about how your body understands them and sustain them. Fernando Salas makes it clear in his analysis too. We cannot keep romanticizing structures that harm us, even if they bring applause and likes. And sometimes these reflections show up in real time. Just recently, I saw a flyer promoting a dance takeover in our community. My heart started racing, my stomach tightened, because I knew what that image represented for me. It wasn't just about performances or classes. It carries a reminder of spaces that did not feel safe. In that moment, I realized how important it is to honor what my body is telling me. So I did something simple but powerful. I reached out to the organizer respectfully and I document my concern. I told them this hurts, these raise red flags about safety, and I need you to be aware. I shared this here because respect isn't a theory. Respect is tested in the choices we make, in who we give a platform to, in what we celebrate, and in how we respond when someone says, "This doesn't feel safe for me." If you're a parent, caregiver, a teacher, or a leader in any space, ask yourself, what am I modeling for the young people who are watching me? Am I reinforcing respect and boundaries or normalizing dynamics that could hurt them later? And if you're a dancer, remember, not everything that shines on stage, it's built with respect. And not everything that takes longer is a waste. Sometimes the slower path is the only one that truly takes you far. This episode is not to point fingers at one person, but to recognize a pattern that we can change together as a community. Because yes, dance can be an art, community, and healing, but only if the structure supporting it also is. So my reflection this week is, when we talk about respect, let's not limit to polite words or surface level gestures. Respect is a practice. It is accountability. It is a listening when someone says, "This doesn't feel safe." It is the courage to choose dignity over silence. Take care of yourselves, breathe deeply, and I see you next week. Ciao, ciao.